Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing something a bit different, still technology, but today I'm going to be telling you how to do some basic maneuvers when driving. So what you want to do is you want to unlock the car first, so hitting the unlock button will do that. Also, if that doesn't work, then inserting the key and using the typical righty-tighty and then lefty-loosey will open the car, and then you can... most typical way I've seen people open the door is with two fingers, open it however you like, as long as you get it open. So there's number one thing you need to do before you start doing anything else in the car, and that is seatbelt. So often it's right here, right next to the door, and you'll just wrap around just like it is when you're a passenger, and then click it in, and then often like a warning will come up and it will not let you go unless you've got your seatbelt on, but it's just always good practice to have your seatbelt. So now what we're going to do is we're going to insert the key into the ignition, and it will do nothing. And it shouldn't do anything. If it is doing anything, then possibly sometimes there's some cars that do, but often that means that there's an issue with your central computer module, and you should probably have that checked out. But, so now we're going to move it to second position, and this is the time where you want to do all your adjustments. You don't want to do any of your adjustments while you're driving, so this is where you would turn on your heating or your cooling. Don't really need that right now. It's pretty beautiful outside. In fact, one of the adjustments would be opening the windows, so I'm just going to open all the windows there, and see make sure all the mirrors are properly adjusted. See, I can see the windows going back there. But I was just cleaning the car, so you move that, you can see me, hello, and, but you don't want to do that. You want to be able to see straight out the back, because our neighbors have hit our car multiple times because they do not have properly adjusted mirrors, so that just shows you how important that actually is. So now, in order to start the car, you want to make sure that this is in park. You must be in park to start the car, otherwise you can severely mess up the transmission. So, say I'm in sport right now, what you want to do is you want to depress the brake pedal. So right now it's depress it, and just move it up to park. And you'll use this little clasp right here to change the gears. And then, so we're going to start the car. We're in second position right now. We're going to go to third position. Some cars have 4, so like they'll have 1, and then basic accessories, and then more advanced accessories, and then fourth will actually start the car. There are also there's some people that prefer to go from first right to third, but I prefer personally going from first to second, and then from second to third. So what you're going to do is press on the brake pedal, and then 2 to 3, and you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you want to hold it only for a few seconds, just until you hear the engine start to grip, and then you can take it off. If you leave it on for too long, you run the risk of damaging the starter and whatever, and just making it harder to start the car in general, and you don't really need that. So you can see here also you want to check your gauges. All these warnings come up regardless of whether or not you've started the car or not. And most of them go away except for the check engine light, because there's probably something wrong with this car, but whatever. So you can check the temperature. You can see that we're hovering around like 190 degrees there, Fahrenheit, which is good because this is actually the third time I'm filming this because I've messed it up so many times. But so now we're just going to go from second to third. So we've got everything set, seatbelt on, mirrors checked, and we'll go from second to third. So, and you'll notice the rev should go up to about 1400 and then come back down to around 1000 or 800. So, 3, 2, 1. You notice that? And it went back down to about 800. So everything's good. So now whatever is left on is what's actually wrong with the car. So you see tire pressure's wrong. There's something wrong with the anti-skid system. This means the parking brake is on, which up until this point it should be, so that light's good, and check engine light. So there's a lot of things wrong with this car right now, but you know what? We don't care, we're just demonstrating some basic maneuvers. So now we are going to try and get out of this driveway. If you do want to ram into the house, I suggest drive, and if you really want to make a statement, maybe put it in sport. But, you know, I don't want to do that, because this is my house, and I need to live there. It's also worth noting that in drive, a lot of modern cars also have this thing where you can go to the so you go to the side and then you change gears manually, but there's not a whole lot of purpose in that. You just buy an actual shift. Like, don't be lazy, but just put it into reverse, and then you're going to, while you have your foot on the brake, you're going to depress the parking brake. So right now, and you'll notice that when you take your foot off the brake, the car will move. Like, there is power in the transmission enough so that this entire maneuver, you do not want to be using the gas for any of this. You're just going to be controlling the car with your brake. It's also important to notice that the front end of your car will go in the opposite direction of the wheel. So if you move to the right, the front of the car will move to the left, but the back will not. So that's called front end swing, and you have to be very cognizant of that, but you should be fine for now. So we're trying to go out of the driveway, which is that way. So we're going to go nice and slow, and I have to basically have the back wheels off the curb in order to see out into the street. So I have to go pretty far because of this van is parked this way. But so we're just going to do that now. So we're going to move to the right a little bit. Don't move too much. I'm just going to slowly take my foot off the brake pedal. You notice that we'll just start slipping away from the driveway. So slipping. Remember, we're moving slow, because I still cannot see the street. See, I did not see that car coming, which is why we are moving slowly. All right, straighten out a bit. See, there's a car coming. Didn't see it. And now we are good. I can see that the street is clear for us to move out. So now we're out. And now we're going to go back in again, because I don't really feel like going out the street right now. So I'm going to go into drive. And keep in mind, we still have not pressed the gas pedal. I'm just taking my foot off the brake. And the car will start to move. And you don't want to brake too hard. You want to tap on it lightly. You don't want to tap, you just want to adjust it and find something that's good and forward a little bit more, and that should be good. So now we're going to straighten the wheel back out, put on the parking brake, take off my seatbelt, and the car, when you take your foot off the brake, the car will move forward a little bit. That is fine, that's normal. So just going to go around and we're going to check out our work. So as you can see, the car is a bit more pointed to the side than I would like it, and I'd like to move up a little further, but we can fix that right now. And we can actually utilize front end swing to fix this, because we're not going into the street anymore, we're just correcting. So, foot on the brake, parking brake off, car in reverse, and now we're going to move to the left, because that'll move the front of the car to the right, which is what we're trying to do. Now the car's going to move to the right a little bit. That's good. That should be fine. And then we're also going to move it, actually, we're going to move it back a little bit, because I want it to be a bit closer to the van. A bit closer. Right. And now we're going to put it in drive. And swing the wheel this way. A bit more. And remember, you don't want to swing the wheel at the very end. You want to be slowly just adjusting it at all times. You want to be straightening out as you drive. So now we're going to put it in park brake on. Seat moves forward a little bit, and we're going to check our work. So things are looking really good. So we just want to straighten the wheels out. So we can just actually do this from right here. We can move, you can just see I'm moving the steering wheel from out here. We can move that to be more straight. And now, we go out and check. Things are looking really good. So, I am going to move it back just a little bit, because my father prefers that it be back a little bit when he reverses, because he's a big person, needs more space to get out. So hit it into reverse one more time, keep the wheel straight, let it off a little bit, and I have the parking brake on. I'm an idiot. Take that off. You should. And then back a tiny bit. Stop. Parking brake on. Car in park. And take the brake off. and we are going to do one final check. And I'd argue that's pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do what's called check stage. So at this point, you wouldn't have to do all the maneuvers I just did. If you do what I did originally, the car is fine. I just like a sort of OCD with this, so I like to have it perfectly in place. So what you're going to do is, once you're in park, remember you have to press on the brake to change gears. Once you have this up, you're going to shut off the car. So you're going to put it back to second, not to third. And you're just going to do final things, like you're going to make sure all your windows are closed. And one of the most important things is you want to make sure your lights are off, because these can run down the battery, and you cannot start your car if the battery is run down. So some car have dings for it, some car don't. Just remember, always, headlights off. And so now you're going to take the key completely out. Just reset all your dials and everything. They're not really as important as the actual driving, so then we can take the key out and leave the car. And remember,